Hello, everyone. Peek behind the curtain, Stephen Hillman. I'm the writer of this story, Purple World. First off, if you're watching this, thank you for perhaps listening to the story so far. And right after this little short introduction, we'll get into the last chapter. But I wanted to say a couple of things. First off, again, thank you for watching along this story. This is I've always been a fan of sci-fi, and this is my first story that I actually put out that is sci-fi related, and I want your advice. So if you made it this far, or perhaps you haven't watched any of the videos before, you don't have to. In fact, after this video, we'll get to the last chapter, and you can choose to look through the whole playlist. I'm going to make the playlist public right after this video. I just kept it private to release the videos one at a time. And then I'm going to release one video that's going to be basically all the stories put to one video. I believe it's just shy of 2 hours. I have to look at it again, but I believe it's shy of 2 hours. The whole thing put together. I think I cut out some intros and definitely outros. But I want your opinion. One, I want to know, what did you think of the story? And were you confused, like overly confused? There's a mystery element to this story, but hopefully, if you get through the end, that you're not still having big questions to a certain extent to think about it. But is that unenjoyable to you? The next would be the production. I made this with some AI images, still images. So I apologize if that's not your thing. It's stock footage as well. The narration, most of it is my voice, but AI generated. I realize voice acting is not my thing, but that's something I wanted to ask. Of course, if I hired a professional, I've done that before, then the be a lot better. But did that detract from the story at all? Could you not get through the story because the audio was bad, or just the sound of the narration was just too distracting? So I'm asking for a little for feedbacks and critique. So I guess the story itself, the sound. Did you care for the visuals at all, or were they second nature? Remember, this is more like a podcast to where you can listen to the stories. You don't need to look at the pictures and the thumbnails. I think thumbnails are all right. But did that help you, or you kind of neutral the whole thing? Just in general, some feedback because I am writing another story, and hopefully I would improve on it. And and was the story too long or too short? Just your general feedback would be great. Appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to get back into the story now. If you like this content, please consider liking, subscribing. And now we're going to get into the final chapter, saying goodbye.
Saying goodbye. Well, if you're ready, we would like you to come with us, author said, nodding back to the group of people known as the Celestial. The Celestial? It was hard even to pin down what they were. He had so many questions to ask, but at this moment, he could only utter a few. Where would we be going? This time, one of the celestial bodies spoke. You would not perceive it correctly with words, but where we go, you will find peace. Daniel looked over to Arthur to see if he had a better explanation than that, but all he got was a playful smile and a raised shoulder motion. Daniel could tell that was the best answer he would get, yet it didn't bother him. He felt a sense of completion. Perhaps he had done and said all that he needed to, and yet he wanted to do a little more. What about Ian? Is he coming with us? Daniel asked, and while he waited for the answer, he was surprised as he didn't know how to feel about whatever the response they were about to give him. He is not ready. When he is, he will have the same choice as you. Daniel looked over to Ian, who had collapsed onto his knees, taking only partial glances over to Daniel. His eyes then settled over to Echo. He could only imagine what was going through her head. Though they just met, he hated to leave her here like this. Hey Echo, thank you for sharing. Don't let me be the last one you do that with. He smiled, and she did the same. And if it's not too much trouble, and I know he will be, take care of Ian until he gets where he's supposed to. Her eyes glazed open, no longer looking directly at Daniel, but beyond him. When he turned, he was faced with a red door again. It started to creak open, spilling out beams of light as it did. Arthur stepped in first and disappeared into the light. The Celestials stood in front. Their bodies changed shape, becoming larger in size and visually opaque. The beams of light become warm and inviting. As he stepped forward, Echo called out to him. Flora, Echo called out. Confusion filled Daniel's face as he turned back to face her. What? It's my name, my real one, she responded. Daniel grinned as he looked up to the Celestial. Do you see her now? They took a moment before responding. Yes, we do. With that, Daniel walked into the room through the door, laughing as he went before he vanished away from the meadows.